Yeah, man. What's up, man? Welcome to M3 Records, man. So we are continuing Genesis 6. You know, so like I was saying, bro, you see, like, you read prophets like him. This is the famous false prophet right here. This guy right here, Prophet Shepherd Bashir. This guy right here. He's the famous false prophet that's predicted in the Bible. You feel me? So it was like this. So it's like you have these prophets and they're teaching you false doctrine. You feel me? See, that's why the Bible said the end time will be like the time of Noah. You feel me? See why the Bible said end time will be like the time of Noah. You feel me? Let me take the Bible verse so you see it. Take the Bible verse. Chapter 24. King James Version. Yeah, if I want to have multiple slides. Oh, just that's 24. Okay, let's go.
Not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away.
See, that is the main reason this topic of Noah is important. So that's the main reason this topic of Noah is important. Because Noah is a perfect example of how the coming of Christ will come. You know, the times of tribulation, the plagues of the end time, the seals, they will come like the times of Noah. Nobody will be ready for it. You feel me? See, that's why the Bible says, like, but in times of Noah, like as in the flood,
They were eating and drinking. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away.
see, and that's the thing, my nigga. Like, they knew not, so he comes unexpectedly. You see? See, that's why these people are like, see, this false man of God. See, that's why I tell you, you can't believe this false man of God. You feel me? Because they will give you prophecies. You feel me? Feel me? They will give you prophecies, but none of the prophecies will come to pass. They will tell you this and that, but none of this and that will come to pass. Now let's go to Genesis 6.
have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and out with pitch.
So now you see where God tells them to make an ark of gopher wood. This is right here. Right here, it starts right here. So make yourself, verse 14. See what I'm highlighted right here? So you started, make yourself an ark of gopher wood. So that's the first instruction. The first step to save yourself. You feel me? The first step that God told them to save your family, in order for you to save your family, you have to follow my commands, just like I told you. And the first step was to make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Why? Because the wood floats. Understand? It's sturdy. You know, the gopher wood or the wood that gophers use to do the gopher down and shit. And it be sturdy. You feel me? And it floats. So God has his reason. You feel me? You have the gopher wood. He said the first instruction in order to key to save your life, you have to make an ark. You call it a ship, you call it an ark. Back in the day, they called ships, arks. You could call it a ship, or you could call it an ark, or big ship, or big ark. You could call it whatever, but you make yourself an ark of gopher wood. And then he said, the next thing you should do when you make yourself that ark, you make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and out with pitch. See? He said, make rooms. Make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and out with pitch. Then say, this is how you make it. Then he goes to tell him how he should create the ark. Hold on. Okay, give me a second. It is right here. And then, when it came to the ark, when it came to the ark, right? So when it came to the ark, God gave him specific instructions into how to make the ark. He gave him specific instructions how to make the ark. Because you see why he said, this is how you are to make it. Understand? So that's it. Now let me ask you a question. So what if right here, right? God told him, make an ark of gopher wood, and he used cider wood. Or he used any other wood. What would you think would be the end result? So that's why I tell people that when you think about the word of God, you have to see it from God's point of view. You feel me? You have to see it from your point of view, God's point of view, the world's point of view, and sin's point of view. You feel me? God's point of view is right point of view. Sin is the wrong point of view. You have your point of view, what you want, your desire, what you want, how you want to do it, and you have the world's point of view. And see, you also include the Antichrist and all this shit. But at the end of the day, like, you see, like, make yourself an awkward go forward. Now, ask yourself a question. What would happen if Noah never made himself an awkward go forward? And what do you think will happen? What would have happened if Noah used a different type of word? Do you know the reason God said use gopher wood? Because one of the reasons God said use gopher wood because it will float. Because it is floatable. You feel me? And with a type of flood, only a gopher wood will be able to float through a storm like that. You feel me? Only gopher wood. It was metal ships like they have right now. We're not making it in a storm like that. Everything drowned. All the big ships they had, great ships they had drowned. But the gopher wood. The purpose for God to tell Noah to make an ark out of gopher wood is because gopher wood is floatable. And because it is floatable, it is not easily sinkable. And when you have a whole thing of gopher wood, just like a gopher wood dam, a gopher's dam is made out of gopher wood. That's why they call it gopher wood, because they're the woods that gophers use to make their dam. And then you see what it says right here. It says, okay, now when you come to the tent, right? No, it says, this is how you will make the ark. The length of the ark, 300 cubits. What did he make to learn 400 cubits? You see? What if he made the length 400 cubits? He said the breadth 50 cubits. What if he made the length, the breadth 30 cubits? Or he made the length 100 cubits or 1,000 cubits. So what if he made it the length 1,000 cubits? Because he wanted to make more room or more space with the idea to make more space. See, if he would have did that, then that would have been going against the instruction God said, because God specifically said, you see what it said right there, 300 cubits. He specifically said 300 cubits. It has to be especially, specifically, exactly 300 cubits. Sometimes God doesn't want to be all this and that, all detail, but sometimes he makes it detailed. Feel me? He makes it detailed. And then he said his breadth 50 cubits, the height 30 cubits. What if he made the height 100 cubits? Trying to make it as big as possible. And he said, make a roof for the ark and finish it to a cubit above, and set a door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. See it? God gave specific instructions. Just like the Bible. What do you guys call the Bible? You turn the Bible to an acronym. Biblical instructions before leaving earth. Though this right here is an instruction. He gave Noah an instruction. He gave Noah an instruction. He gave Noah an instruction. The Bible is your instruction, your biblical instruction. The Quran is your biblical instruction. The Jewish laws are your biblical instruction. The laws of Buddha, without the bowing down to the statue, or your and every other thing that the Bible says you can't do that are a sin against God. Those are your biblical instructions. They added thorns to it. Because you see what it's going to say now. Let's let me read the self out. Excuse me. Come, now let's let her read itself up. No, let's let her read.
This is how you were to make it. The length of the ark, 300 cubits. Its breadth, 50 cubits. And its height, 30 cubits.
You see that?
Make a roof for the ark and finish it to a cubit above, and set the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. For behold, I will bring a flood of waters upon the earth, to destroy all flesh in which is the breath of life under heaven. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you.
See? And that's the covenant. Emmanuel is the covenant. See, this is the first covenant that God gave. The covenant with Noah. He gave a covenant with Adam, but Adam was kicked out. Cain was cursed. So out of Adam's generation, he found favor in Noah. That's what we just read. If you see what we read from Genesis 1 to 5, it said in verse 5, the generations of Adam. The descendants of Adam. And Noah is a descendant of Adam. Do you understand me? Noah is a descendant of Adam. And you would say, how? How? It's right here. Hold on, let me pull it up. It's right here, Genesis 5. Genesis 5. It's right here, Genesis 5. The descendants of Adam. And Noah and Noah, let me live 5 lived, and it said right, Lamech lived after he begot Noah 590 years. Noah, and what did it say? Adam's descendants. Noah, God found faithful with Noah. He could have found faithful with Adam, because Adam was kicked out of the garden. He could not find favor with Adam. He could not, because he cast Adam out of the garden for disobedience, and Adam died. So he cast Adam and Eve out of the garden. And Cain killed Abel. Abel's dead. Abel is no more, because Cain, his brother, killed him. And Cain is cursed. And now Cain is dead. And now Adam has another son, Seth, who continued. Because you said, right here, you said, and he died. And Seth lived and Seth lived. And he said, and Seth lived 105 years and begot Enos. Seth was the geological bloodline for Noah. Noah couldn't come through a cursed bloodline. The only way God changed that was with David. When David sinned against God. But David had a heart for God. He loved God. So God blessed him still. Do you understand? Because David's bloodline was supposed to be cursed. But God blessed him. You're going to see it in the Bible as we go forward. But I wanted to show you that this Noah is a descendant of Adam. And the covenant, he made a covenant with Noah because Noah was the descendant of Adam, the father of all creation. All creation began from Adam. Adam and Eve were the first. Adam was the first human being to be created. So let's keep going.
Of every living thing of all flesh, you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds according to their kinds, and of the animals according to their kinds, of every creeping thing of the ground according to its kind, 2 of every sort shall come into you to keep them alive. Also take with you every sort of food that is eaten, and store it up.
See? And then, see, God gave him instructions to the animals. God's command are instructions. They are command, yeah, but they are instructions. That's why the Bible said in Proverbs, said, my son, pay attention to my word. Oh, yes. Incline your ears to my saying. Do not let them depart from your heart. Oh, yes. See, y'all made a song about it. Because they are life to those who find them and health to all their flesh. The words of God are instructions. They are laws. Laws are instructions. Laws are commandments. It's just like the laws of your land, America. They are instruction to instruct the people on how to move and interact in society. There are also laws to govern the people. There are also commandments. You are in the image of the Father. You do what the Father do. That is how heaven you run. You try to run your country just how God is, and you don't even know it. That's why you were made in the image and the likeness of God. In His likeness. You know what image and likeness is? Likeness is you in everything that makes him. You are not him, but you are just another, a replica, different replica, but you are in this image of him. You have powers through the Spirit of God He has given you, and you can do a lot of things. A lot of y'all could fly if y'all tap into your godly powers. You can heal yourself. Nigga, you could say to a mountain, be moved. You could say to the dust, flesh form, and flesh will form. We'll get into that. He moved with Isaiah, Ezekiel. You have to follow the instructions. You see right here what it says. It said, you shall bring, and of everything, living thing of all flesh, you shall bring two of every sort into the ark. Two of every sort. Let me see right quick. Let me see right quick. All right, now we logged in. Now we could do some things. Now, you feel me? Now we could do some things. Now let's go back. Let's go back. Now let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back to the old world. No, we not. No, we ain't.
They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee.
And he said, they shall come unto thee to keep them alive. See, his job was to keep. See, he had a job to do. See, and also, people don't know it. Noah had a very important job to do. Understand? Noah's job, the reason for Noah building the ark was to preserve life. Understand? Was to preserve life. It was. So that's why he said right here. It says right here, 2 of every kind will come unto you to preserve life.
Thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive.
See, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. Okay, 2 of every sort. Right here, highlight. Right here, highlight. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. His job was to preserve life, so he shall repopulate life. See, that's our job. When God sent us, when he's ready to destroy people, he sent us to destroy, also to repopulate. You feel me? So that's what it is, man. You understand? And then I want to go to the very best part of it.
Every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah, according to all that God commanded him, so did he.
See, thus do Noah according to all that God commanded thee. Thus did him. We prophet, we love to do what God commanded us to do. And we do it exactly how God commanded us to do it.
Hey, man, why you just fucking in your chain, bro? And I'm talking to you. I was standing right here. What?
Excuse me, sorry about that. Yeah, man. So, and you have to learn how to do things exactly how God tell you to do it. Just like the Bible, the Quran, the Buddhist law. You don't bow down. See, the Bible is your foundation. If you see any laws in other books that contradict the Bible, then you don't do those laws because you're free from the other laws. Do you understand? And let's say if you're in the Buddha teaching of the Buddha of mind, or Buddha, which is teaching of the mind, the Bible says don't bow down to statues. So I was learning the teaching of mind to learn my mind, but I would not bow down to statues. I would not eat food served or dedicated to statues or idol gods. Do you feel me? That's one example. But like I say though, I have to wrap up right now because man, I'm done with 6 and now we have to go to 7. Which is 7. I'm trying to see what 7 is. What is 7? 7. Oh, the Great Flood. Oh yeah, 7 is the time for the flood. When the flood came. Let's see what 8 was. What's 8? What's 8? Or 8 continues to flood. The rainbow. Oh, 9 ago we talked about the rainbow when I told you about what the rainbow means. Every time you see the rainbow, it's God telling you that your sin is getting to me. Every time you see the rainbow, it's God telling you that he's fed up with your sin. He's reminding you and he's reminding himself not to kill you. But we shall be going with that. So we in 7 right now. So we done with 6. Feel me? I'm finna give me some bread and tea. And man, we're finna chop it up, man. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I got a lot of Bible verses chapters to go, so I'm trying to do as much as I can. So like I said, man, God be with you. Remember, God is with you, Emmanuel. Remember, leave your questions and anything in the comment box below, and I'll answer. I'll try to answer as much as I can. I'll try to answer all of them because I like to answer. Talk about the word of God and teach. I like to teach. So I might stay up all night as long as I can. Because like we get a lot of fans now, I might answer everything. I try to answer and I get a lot of followers. I try to give me some help. But like I said, leave your comment below. Ask whatever question you want to ask. You know what I'm saying? Remember, God is with you. In this ministry, we don't say Jesus, we say Emmanuel. Instead of Jesus, we say Emmanuel. Remember, we are time conquerors. We are conquerors. The Bible said we are more than conquerors. We are more than conquerors. So we are conquerors. We are more than conquerors. Understand? We are more than conquerors. I'm more than a conqueror. And I'm a conqueror, and I'm more. You feel me? So we are time conquerors and more. So we are time conquerors. We are the conquerors family. The conquering family. Understand? For the conquering hood. M3 Records, the M3 family. Understand? So like I said, remember God is with you. May God be with you. Be blessed. Now let's go to Genesis 7. Tune in. Genesis 7. 1. Catch you later. 2 says,